Do you know what MFA spamming is? Have you ever thought about how it can impact your online security? Welcome to this exploration of a rising threat in the cybersecurity landscape, multi-factor authentication or MFA spamming. In our increasingly digital world, traditional password-only systems are proving to be vulnerable, prompting many organizations to adopt MFA for an added layer of security. But what happens when the guardians become the gateways for cyber attacks? This is where MFA spamming comes into play. MFA spamming is a deceptive method used by cybercriminals to bypass MFA systems. It involves bombarding users with numerous MFA prompts or confirmation codes, creating confusion and fatigue. This bombardment can trick users into approving unauthorized logins, paving the way for data breaches and cyber attacks. In essence, MFA spamming is turning our own security measures against us, exploiting the trust we place in these systems. Understanding MFA spamming is the first step in protecting yourself from this cunning cyber attack. Now let's delve a little deeper into how MFA spamming works. Imagine you're a cybercriminal. Your goal is to bypass the multi-factor authentication, or MFA, that stands between you and a user's sensitive information. To do this, you employ a couple of cunning techniques. First, you use something called credential stuffing. This is where you take a list of known usernames and passwords, often bought or stolen from previous data breaches, and systematically try them on different websites. If you strike gold and find a match, you can then attempt to bypass the MFA. Now comes the spamming part of MFA spamming. You, the attacker, bombard the user with MFA requests. These aren't just any requests, they're designed to look legitimate, as if the user themselves initiated them. You're banking on the fact that the user will be overwhelmed or confused by the sheer volume of requests. You're hoping they'll inadvertently approve your unauthorized login. Another technique you might use is phishing. You create a fake website or email that appears to be from a trusted source. The goal is to trick the user into revealing their login credentials. Once you have these, you can once again attempt to bypass the MFA by spamming the user with requests. But it's not all doom and gloom. There are ways to combat MFA spamming, from strengthening password policies to using robust monitoring systems, but that's a story for another scene. As you can see, MFA spamming is a sophisticated technique that exploits the very system designed to protect us. So what happens when MFA spamming succeeds? What are the consequences? Well, let's dive into the aftermath of this nefarious cyber activity. First and foremost, MFA spamming can result in unauthorized access to sensitive information. This could be anything from your private emails to your financial records. Once these cyber criminals bypass the MFA system, they essentially have the keys to your digital kingdom. They can read your private conversations, access your banking information, and even steal your identity. Moreover, MFA spamming can lead to significant financial loss. If a cyber criminal gains access to your bank account or credit card information, they can drain your funds and rack up massive amounts of debt in your name. The financial ramifications can be devastating and in some cases life-altering, but the damage doesn't stop at the individual level. Businesses also face severe consequences when MFA spamming attacks succeed. For one, there's the potential damage to their reputation. In an era where data breaches often make headlines, falling victim to such an attack can erode customer trust. It could take years, if not decades, for a company to rebuild its reputation and regain customer confidence after a significant data breach. In addition to reputational damage, businesses could face legal repercussions. In many jurisdictions, companies are legally obligated to protect customer data. Failure to do so could result in hefty fines or even lawsuits, not to mention the cost of managing the aftermath of a data breach, including the necessary investigations and measures to prevent future attacks, can run into millions. Finally, MFA spamming can also lead to what's known as security fatigue. This refers to the weariness or resignation users feel from constant security warnings and prompts, which may lead them to ignore these crucial alerts, further exposing them to cyber risks. In conclusion, MFA spamming is not just a pesky inconvenience, it's a serious cybersecurity threat with potential ramifications that extend beyond the digital realm. The repercussions of MFA spamming are far-reaching, affecting both individuals and organizations. Despite the threats posed by MFA spamming, there are ways to mitigate these attacks. The first line of defense is securing passwords. It's essential to enforce robust password policies that require complex, unique passwords. This can involve a combination of letters, numbers, and special characters, and avoiding common words or phrases. Regular password changes are also key to keeping accounts secure. But securing passwords is just the beginning. User education plays a crucial role in mitigating MFA spamming. Users should be made aware of what legitimate MFA requests look like and be encouraged to verify each request before approval. This could be as simple as checking the associated account or device information, or confirming whether they initiated the action that triggered the MFA prompt. Rate-limiting mechanisms can also be an effective strategy in battling MFA spamming. By limiting the number of MFA requests that can be sent within a certain time frame, you can prevent attackers from overwhelming users with prompts. This can also help reduce the risk of users approving unauthorized requests due to fatigue or confusion. Robust monitoring systems should also be in place to detect unusual activity. These systems can alert you to repeated login attempts, flag suspicious IP addresses, or identify patterns that could indicate an MFA spamming attack. Finally, it's important to block compromised passwords. If a password is known to have been compromised, it should be blocked from use. This can protect users even if their credentials fall into the wrong hands. By taking these measures, you can significantly reduce the risk of falling victim to MFA spamming. So that's a wrap on MFA spamming. We've journeyed through understanding what it is, a devious tactic where cybercriminals overwhelm users with MFA prompts to trick them into approving unauthorized logins. We've seen how they employ techniques like credential stuffing and phishing to acquire login details. We've also delved into the consequences of such attacks and the importance of securing passwords, educating users, and implementing robust monitoring systems to mitigate these threats. Remember, understanding the threat is half the battle. Stay informed, stay secure,